Okay, so imagine you take one wrong turn and you end up in a town that just never lets you leave. That's the terrifying reality in From, this nightmarish little town where survival means you have to hide from these smiling creatures that hunt you in the dark. For 3 seasons, this whole place has been one of TV's biggest mysteries. But I think that's all about to change. For years, we've been trying to piece together all these little clues. But the recent finale, whoa, it wasn't just another piece of the puzzle. It was like a bombshell that blew the entire mystery wide open. We finally got some of our biggest answers yet, but we also got this chilling new villain with the pretty ominous warning. Knowledge comes at a cost.
And believe me, what a price it was. That finale was an absolute game changer. It took everything we thought we knew and just threw it into complete chaos.
I mean, it is kind of hard to believe all of this happened in just one episode. First, we get the shocking death of a major character, Jim Matthews. Then, we learn the absolutely horrifying truth behind Fatima's pregnancy. A massive revelation about who Tabitha and Jade really are just drops out of nowhere. And, as if that wasn't enough, this sinister new figure steps out of the shadows, the Man in Yellow.
Yeah, this guy is not just another monster. The Man in Yellow seems to be the mastermind, the one pulling all the strings. We now know he was the voice on the radio way back in season 1, telling Jim to stop digging for answers. His goal is terrifyingly simple: keep the town's secrets buried, no matter who has to die to make that happen. And in classic From fashion, for every single answer we finally got, a dozen more terrifying questions popped up to take its place.
So here's the biggest bombshell of them all. Those visions Tabitha and Jade have been having, they aren't random flashes. They're memories. The finale revealed that Tabitha is the reincarnation of Miranda. That's Victor's long-lost mother. And Jade is the reincarnation of Christopher, another former resident. This is why they're so connected to this place. They've literally lived it before. But that brings up the most important question, right? If they're meant to be here, why is the Man in Yellow so desperate to stop them? Jim's death wasn't just some random attack. It was a message. It happened the exact moment Tabitha and Jade figured out the truth about their past lives. This knowledge is clearly the key to everything, and it's a key the Man in Yellow will kill to keep hidden. And then there's Fatima. Her storyline gave us what might be the single most horrifying truth of the entire series. Remember when Boyd managed to kill that smiley monster in season 2? Well, it turns out that wasn't a victory at all. The monster was just reborn through Fatima. So the game has a terrifying new rule. The monsters are immortal. So with all these insane new pieces on the board, this fascinating and incredibly detailed fan theory has popped up that might just tie everything together. It reframes the entire show, not as just some random horror story, but as an ancient, supernatural game. And the key to this whole theory? It's the number 47. It's been popping up subtly throughout the series, on the RV radio, in little details, and this theory says that's no coincidence. It's the very foundation of how this town is built. So one massive Reddit theory suggests that the town is literally a playing board for a game between some kind of supernatural entities. And get this, each round of the game lasts exactly 47 years. The theory even connects this number to the prime number life cycles of cicadas, which were a huge clue in season 2, suggesting this whole thing operates on a really strange and really long timeline. Okay, but this is where it gets truly wild. The theory proposes that this 47-year game has been running for centuries, and it's been secretly influencing major events in American history. This is where your mind is kind of going to be blown. When you map out these 47-year cycles, the end of each round lines up almost perfectly with a major turning point in history. The end of the Salem witch trials, the drafting of the U.S. Constitution, the end of the Vietnam War. This theory is suggesting that the events in this tiny forgotten town have actually been shaping the entire world. And the theory goes even deeper. It argues that the outcome of the game, who wins that round, determines the nature of that historical event. So when the good side wins, we get something positive, like the end of the witch trials. But when the bad side wins, well, that lines up with the start of the Great Depression. Suddenly, the stakes here aren't just about survival anymore, they're cosmic. But what about the other huge mystery? That strange symbol Jade and the others keep seeing? I mean, it's been a puzzle since day 1. Well, this grand theory has an answer for that too. It's not just some spooky symbol, it's a map. of all the game rounds. It's a map of time.
Think of it this way. Each point and line on that symbol corresponds to one of the 47-year rounds. The lines that intersect, those are connections between the timelines. This is how Jade can see visions of Civil War soldiers from round 8, and how Boyd literally met Martin, a soldier from round 10. And if this theory is right, our characters are now in round 11, the final tie-breaking round.
Okay, so let's take a breath. What happens when you put all of this together? The crazy reveals from the finale, plus this epic, century-spanning theory? It means the residents of this town aren't just fighting for their own survival anymore. They are unknowing players in a supernatural game that has been shaping history. And their struggle is actually for the fate of the world itself. Their actions, whether they survive or fail, could decide the next major chapter in human history. Which leaves us with one final, pretty haunting thought. With reincarnated players, immortal monsters, and a villain who literally punishes knowledge with death, are the residents just pawns in a cosmic game they have no chance of winning? And if this really is the final round, what happens to the rest of us if they lose?